In 2018, I was asked by the overseer, Victoria Carney, to write an album for Ministries of Christ. Although I love singing and being in the ministry, I just felt overwhelmed by the thought of writing music again. And in my mind, nobody would listen to it. So I told her no. I told her that wasn't something that I could do right now, even though I really wanted to. I decided to stay focused on the task at hand, which was being minister of music. In 2019, Pastor Charlotte West prophesied over me, told me that I was going to write an album that would bless God's people. This wasn't my first time hearing that, so, it was something that I've received before, but I can be honest and say that this time it felt different with the words that she gave me. Although this pierced my heart and struck me, the feeling of being rejected and putting music out overtook me. And so I pushed it to the back of my mind and remained persistent as minister of music.
Hearing the feeling of being inadequate in the spirit realm. And I want to tell y'all that this is the time that God is raising up new people. Yes. And the more that you feel that, the more I say attack. Because the more that feeling comes over you, that's just the devil trying to suppress you.
In 2020, I battled depression and contemplated my faith and my purpose. Oh, but I thank God for a family that knows how to pray and believes in the miracle working power of God. Because at that time, I was tapped out. COVID had tried to take my mind, but I'm so grateful that God didn't allow it to happen.
I've always hid. People know I can pray. People know, I have a gift, but I'm background. I don't want nobody else knowing what I got, because then that gives them room to compare. That gives them room to judge. So I've always hid and hid and hid, and to see y'all really come out with this project, it's refreshing.
Time with you all and time with the music and time with God has very clearly uncovered for me that God still sees me when I don't feel like anybody else does. But it has also made me turn my attention to that God still sees me. Yes. Ain't nobody else got to. Nobody got to see me, but he does. And that's what's most important for me, is that he sees where I am, and he's the only one that can do anything about where I am. So the fact that he can see that and has his hand on that, it gives me peace in a very semi-chaotic space.
In 2020, I stepped down as minister of music at New Life Ministries of Christ. I told myself it was to gain peace. I thought this would be the perfect time to chill and relax and not have to worry about ministry work. But as it turns out, God allowed me to remove myself from that position to fulfill an assignment that I convinced myself that I wasn't worthy of, or that I told myself I was too overwhelmed to complete. I thank God for putting Marilyn in my life and allowing her to step up to the plate and take that position so that God could reveal to me the next steps of my life.
But seeing my own personal spiritual growth has just been amazing. To be a part of this project has helped me grow spiritually, not just with just singing, but just outside of here. What we do in here follows me to home, and it's passed on to my kids, and my kids are praising and worshiping like.
Yeah.
I'm just grateful for being the vessel that God allows me to be.
Throughout 2020, I kept having dreams of me writing original music. After months of fighting against it, I knew what was the next step for me. So I approached President Carney and I said, can I write an album for Ministries of Christ? And with tears in her eyes and with no hesitation, she said yes and immediately began to pray over me and the project that God will pour into me. I was beyond grateful for her yes, but I still had a sense of fear in me. But that's because I didn't want to do it alone. The blessing is I knew that God placed people at Ministries of Christ that I could call on, that I saw greatness inside of them. So I reached out to my friends. I said, Laquita, Marilyn, Rachel, Sherman, Jaden, would y'all be willing to embark on this project with me in writing an album for Ministries of Christ to create our own sound? And with joyful hearts, everybody said yes, absolutely. And on January 22nd, 2023, we began the writing process after our Sunday services. And what God revealed to us, we were not ready for, but He granted so much increase. Within 3 months, we had 7 songs written. God was showing Himself true in our lives at that very moment. What does not weary mean to you? I don't want to start, you guys.
You know the song, like you wrote it.
But my answer is the right one. I want to get the other answers out first.
You got the power.
Only answer.
He gonna close us out.
Bring it all together.
So to sum all of this out.
So somebody just throw out what it might mean to you.
Fearless. All faith and no fear.
Yeah.
Trust in God totally. Because when you trust Him, you ain't got nothing to be worried about.
Yeah.
Stress free.
That's what I am, stress-free. Well, no, that's not true. Y'all don't understand. I've been so stressed because of October 1st for the last month. I don't know what I'm going to do when it's over. I'm going to be free like a bird.
I think of the word light.
Okay.
Usually if you're weary or burdened, you're heavy.
Yeah.
So not weary to me means you're light. You're carrying around light. You're not carrying much because all your burdens are with God.
Question. What is your favorite song on the project?
Forever and always.
Me and JC already said this. I said Nia's going to say forever and always.
Period.
I'll have to second that.
Forever and always.
I like the Not Weary joint.
Yeah.
It puts me in a place
That's
of
the one
worship.
that's like stuck in my head. Like
Yeah.
I will not be weary. I just be walking around the house. just
And
singing
well
that.
do it.
Right, and that's
I'll
a
be
good
outside
one.
on my roof.
Forever
Oh,
Yes.
I'm gonna reap.
And it's the I'll forever dwell. And I just like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
If there's
yeah,
one
yeah.
thing, if there's one thing about me right now in my walk with God is like getting away from just being so excited and worshiping about what God does, but instead just worshiping Him for who He is. Like just literally relishing in His presence because of who He is. He could literally not give me anything else, and I need to put my mind on that.
Yeah.
And when we sing "I'll Forever Dwell," it just hits me like so big.
I like it word relish.
Yeah, for relish. Yeah.
What about you, Quita?
Mine is I'm covered. I think it's just a testimony of how God covers us. And it's just something I can sing over and over and over again because I know it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After 7 complete songs, I was so excited. But I still didn't know what to call the project or exactly how all of it would tie together. I knew I was writing it for our ministry, but I didn't know exactly what it meant. The type of ministry that I'm a part of is a Matthews 25 ministry. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. The words of the Lord. And that reminded me of our love canteen, where we feed the hungry. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. At the church New Life Ministries of Christ, everybody is welcomed. I was naked and you clothed me. We have the LaQuisha Alexander clothing drive. I was sick and you visited me. I was in prison and you came to see me. That speaks to Heart and the Love Program. These were the things that I knew God was calling us to do in our ministry. And sometimes when we're doing the works of the Lord, it might not seem like it's all going as planned. You don't always see the fruits of your labor just by looking. So I wanted to write something to make sure that the people could keep going.
So that's when I found my community that I've been praying for here at Ministries of Christ, actually. And I've been praying for a community, but I didn't know why I was praying for a community until like that next month when everything happened within a month. And you sent the songs out. And it was just confirmation for me from God that I'm like moving in the right direction, because for a long time, I wasn't sure if God was even still talking to me because I was doing so much at first. But it's good to know that God still loves me.
Yeah.
I mean, I know God has always loved me, but like it's good to know that he's still speaking and he's with me. And I just needed that. And I still need this.
So on April 15th, I sat in front of my keyboard and I just began to play. And as I was playing, I was humming. Da, 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 da. And I wasn't sure exactly what to say. And then God gave me Galatians 6 and 9. Grow not weary in well-doing. Grow not weary in well-doing. I wanted to dwell in that place forever. The place where I knew God was pleased with the things that I was doing. But sometimes in those places you need strength. That's the place that I want to be. Because I want to reap the harvest. Thank you, God. The place where Jesus instructs us to be. At that moment, I knew this had to be the foundation of the album. And that everything after that will fall into line.
So the impact for me is just recognizing growth, not only in him, but in myself, and Rachel, and Marilyn as writers, and just the way that we have the heart for God and we have the heart for worship. And it doesn't, we're getting over the fear of spectators and opinions and comparisons. It's all about God. So being able to recognize that in every one of us, that's a impact of gratitude for me.
After rehearsal last time, Courtney and I were talking because we were lingering on I'll Forever Dwell right here in this place. And it just, God was talking to me and wanted me to encourage my fellow singers, but I'm disobedient sometimes, so I didn't do it. But he was just saying, like, here in this place might be a wreck in your eyes, but I see what's ahead of you. So this place is peace. Dwell in this place. You might see it as chaos everywhere, but here is covering.
Yeah.
You might see it as you don't have a way out, but right here is protection, provision, security, safety, deliverance. Like, dwell in this place. I didn't know he was holy until I didn't have nobody else to call on.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was covered until I saw myself uncovered. I didn't know I could hold on to him forever and always until I needed to. That's how it's impacted my life. It's right before my eyes. It's not something I'm singing about. It's not something I'm just thinking about. It's not something we was just upstairs making lyrics to and trying to associate and connect the dots to scriptures. It's real life. I'm not weary. I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I don't know what I'm doing the day after that. I don't know how he's going to fix it, but I'm not weary.
Yeah.
And I'm dwelling right here in this place.
So without any further ado, we present to you Not Weary.